Welcome to my channel, and before we get started, I would like to mention I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion going to slander, belittle, or bash anyone in this video. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I will only give my non-biased opinion from a viewer's perspective while respecting the families and the privacy aside from the show. If you're new to my channel, please stick around and I hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it. So, episode 12 opens up with Anila and Kieran being robbed. And immediately, y'all, right off the back, they begin to imply that it's Toya. And I'll give my input on that in a minute. But this is a gated community. And given the prior argument and altercation with Toya at Quad's Holla Slay party, they automatically summed it up to it was her. Plus, she lives in that same neighborhood and it's gate access only. And I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. But this isn't a real group of friends. Why would your friends agree that you set them up to be robbed? That's a big accusation. Think about it. Toya has way too much to lose. Not saying it couldn't happen, because y'all remember what happened with old boy. Y'all know the Welcome to Sweetie Pie's star James Norman, who had his nephew killed or whatever. He was a reality star, is my point. You know, so things can go awry with reality stars. They are human and they do make mistakes. But I do have another scenario, and hear me out. What about the other women that were at Quad's party that didn't like Toya? Could they have possibly staged a robbery at Anila's house to make it look like Toya set the whole thing up? That's another thing to think on, y'all, because this is a very big accusation to just be accusing somebody of. I honestly just don't think Toya dislikes Anila that much to go to that extent. I'm sorry, I just don't. But y'all, look, I can go on and on about this whole scenario because I have multiple different opinions in regards to this. So we just gonna move on to the next topic, which brings us to the meeting at Dr. Jackie's house. First, I would like to extend my thoughts and prayers and condolences to Dr. Heavenly in her time of bereavement. As we all know, Dr. Heavenly's mother had been in hospice for a while and she did ultimately end up passing away. But condolences to your mom, Dr. Heavenly, and may she live on forever in your heart. Now on to the gathering at Dr. Jackie's house, which she did attempt to host outside, but the weather kind of got a little frigid, so the women ended up moving inside. And that's where all heck breaks loose as usual. You know, when these women get together, it's rare that they can do so without having an altercation, and that's what ended up happening. Toya's fuming because of the accusations that she may have been involved in the robbery of Anila's house, and then her and Dr. Heavenly end up in an argument. But then we see Dr. Heavenly do something that we don't typically see her do, which we can all pretty much associate with the recent loss of her mother at that time. We actually see Dr. Heavenly get up and walk away, but not without doing so in true Dr. Heavenly fashion. Watch this.
Dad, so y'all, and y'all kiss my ass and climb a tree. What? Can you open this goddamn door? Cause I'm going home. Listen, you just have to pull the right door, Heavenly. Bitch, if you don't open the door, I'm gonna run for our bitch up in here. Bye, Evelyn.
And then she said,
I don't have no desire. My man dick big, okay? Let's go.
which I like how everybody played it off in the episode like they didn't know what she was talking about. But we all know that Dr. Heavenly was referring to Toya's comment that she made in Vegas. When Audra asked at the table in Vegas, what were you most surprised about when you got married? Toya responded that their wee-wee would not get bigger. And no, she didn't use the word wee-wee, but I'll let y'all fill in the blanks. Come on, we're adults. But that's exactly what Dr. Heavenly was referring to when she made that statement. And I don't know why everybody act like they did not know. If anything, all the women knew. Dr. Heavenly is literally the only person I've ever known to take their pain, comedy, and anger and use it all at the same time. Absolutely hilarious. Instead of doing Married to Medicine spinoffs, they need to be giving Dr. Heavenly her own show, I'm telling you. But on to episode 13. It opens up with Quad and Anila talking about the meeting at Jackie's. And basically, Quad is being messy straight out the gate, mentioning what everyone else says while at the gathering. As we know, Toya may mention that Anila may have staged the robbery, and Anila expresses how amazed she is that a group of educated women could say something like that, which is sort of hypocritical for Anila to say if we think about it, because she did just accuse Toya for setting it up. But then they bring up the topic of Toya sleeping around again, which I really don't understand how that's relevant and how Toya hasn't called to check on her since she's been robbed. But think about it. Why would you call and check on someone who thinks you're the reason why their house was broke into? Come on now, it don't make sense. Because I wouldn't have called you either, honey. But on a lighter note, Anila and Karen did make mention that Miss Gomez is coming back. And I don't know about y'all, but that whole thing seemed arranged or staged by production. A ploy of sorts to create a narrative for Anila's dry storyline. If that's the case, in fact, which I'm not saying it is, that means the kids were in on it as well, unless they weren't included, which means they traumatized these kids for views. Just a thought, y'all. I be thinking about everything. But in previous episodes, their nanny had to go be with her family in Houston. Anila is forced to move her mom in to help with the kids, and her mom gets on her nerves. Then Miss Gomez magically has a change of heart and return. Come on, y'all. Don't that sound like a plot from a Lifetime movie? I'm just saying. Next, I'd like to talk about Dr. Contessa's pageant. I've always thought that Dr. Contessa's body was beautiful. Her shape is absolutely goals, natural and just, shapely. I'm not really a fan of the toning. Personally, not a preference of mine. And although it doesn't matter, I am proud that she made a goal and stuck to it. Me personally, I lack the motivation and could stand to take a lesson from her book. But what really warmed my heart from this moment was seeing her dad there. We know their history, and that moment was beautiful. Ultimately, she won the competition, but based off of this scene alone, it seems she's won in more ways than one. So congratulations to Dr. Contessa in her win and regaining the structure of her family back. So then we cut to the group arriving at the vacation cabin. And as we know, every season they have a woman's trip and then they have a couple's trip. And this is that couple's trip. Jackie and Dr. Simone decide to take the group back to the same cabin where it all started, which is in Blue Ridge Mountains, Georgia. They ultimately ended up assigning everyone's room to cut down on confusion and arguing, and their goal is to come to a breakthrough. But y'all, Toya already came in with the crappy mood, assumingly, or according to her, she said that it may or may not had something to do with the fact that Eugene didn't give her any the night prior. But that's nothing compared to when Audra and Dr. Martin come in with the champion outfits on, y'all. They clearly chose violence and they entered in with the mess. And we understand, due to the fact that there's been no resolve since her and Toya's altercation. But this right here, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. Because even this right here seemed like another attempt by production to keep the pot brewing, it's like production told them to think of something really, really petty to boost the ratings. And this is what they came up with. Either way, it makes for good old TV watching, I'll say that. But let's just say in a world that this has nothing to do with the production team. That would mean that most of these people could take up careers in acting if this whole reality TV thing doesn't work out. Well, all but one. Sorry, Miss Anila's mom, but it's a no for you and your antics. Baby, because Miss Anila's mama be over dramatic and looking at the camera the whole time. Also, congratulations are in order for Audra and Dr. Martin. Not that I couldn't already tell, but they are expecting baby number 2. Look, us women can tell when a woman's pregnant. Our nose is spread, we get all glowy. But again, congrats to Dr. Martin and Audra on their new baby news. The episode ends with everyone sitting down at the table to eat the meal Eugene prepared, and the question is brought up by Anila: does anyone feel the robbery was a setup? At which Toya says, I don't know what it is. I don't know you. So we already know what to expect in the next episode. This episode ended kind of funny. They didn't give a preview to the next episode, and the credits were rolling before they could even finish their lasagna. So I can't wait to see, but we all know whatever it is, it's going to be drama filled. So see y'all back here again in a week. Thank you again so much for watching and tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you care. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future content. Thank you all. Bye.